back to my channel. This is Scare Bear Girl here to make another video. I have other videos I was going to upload, but as I was editing them, they just weren't screaming me, if that makes sense. I attempted again to make a emo makeup tutorial, but then my boyfriend came home and interrupted, and I just lost the wind. Oh, you can kind of see my lamp back there here. And excuse the glare on my glasses, I am sorry. But I just wanted to do a little update video on my Long Furby adventures. This one's a commission. This one is for sale. He is not working. He's just a little puppet. But he is for sale. And he's adorable. Because he does that. But, I don't even know what this video is going to be. I might just record, like, me making my commission. More of a, like, a follow me DIY thing. First of all, we've got to get his little feet off. And then measure and cut the fur. Maybe I'll just make this an actual tutorial, whereas all the other ones were like show and tell of what I made and how I made it. Here I'm going to actually make an in-depth tutorial. I'm going to be making a 4-foot long I just decided I'm going to make a 4-foot long Furby. But the supplies you need for a long Furby friend. One of these, a yard long or longer, preferably longer, because a 4-foot long Furby is longer than a yard. A yard is 3 feet, so you need to add 12 inches. You will need the fur of your choice. That's a pretty good match. You're going to need a zipper if it's going to be a working long Furby. I usually use the invisible zippers because I will make a lining where you can zip right around the body here to open the Furby to get to the battery compartment. You will need fabric of your choice. Now this long Furby is going to have wings. I could not for the life of me find wings at Joann's Fabrics. Usually they have them, but I think I bought out their stock and they haven't stocked it, which makes no sense because I would keep buying them if they would stock it. But I'm going to use this pink mylar, but since it's see-through and I don't want the stuffing to poke through or see through the see-through fabric, I'm going to use these little polka dots. You can barely see the polka dots, to be honest, but as an inner lining for the wings. This is what I make the inner bag part. It's literally making like a pocketbook, but a long Furby. I make a lining in like really cool material, but this is like my favorite, so I use this material. You are going to need spine and a tool to detach the spine if you got spine that is longer than your Furby. This relatively, well, I made 2 long Furbies out of it, and before that it was 10 feet long, so 10 feet long divided by math. But basically this will save your life. I will put the description down in the comment, not in the comment, but like in the description box down below. I will not link you to these things because I am terrified that the place that sells this stuff will sell out if I tell more than a few people, and I know that sounds insane, but a customizer has her trade secrets. Do not ask a customizer unless they have already told you their trade secrets, because I was told these secrets by other customizers and I don't want to be ostracized from the Long Furby community because I told you all the links to this. But basically just look up or Google teddy bear spines and the tool that goes with it. It's Jexton is the brand, and Mozo, it's just dull armature on here. But yeah, that's where I get my long spine from. First of all, we're going to, you're gonna need scissors and a sewing machine. Do you see the sewing machine in the background there? Oh, I can't zoom in, but it's right here, right there. Okay, I will do a video clip of me opening my sewing machine because this is going to be an extremely long video. Y'all want to know how to make a long Furby, the proper tutorial, and not just people showing themselves making a long Furby and not telling you exact details, because it is not cheap. That is why my long Furbies are a hefty price. But my hefty price is a lot cheaper than other customizers because mine are just basic long Furbies, in my opinion. So my price line is pretty good. So let's measure out 4 feet. Okay. So basically, I'm going to measure out best I can, make it straight as possible. This is better to do on the floor, but I don't feel like going on the floor. So measure out a yard, and then it's 12 more inches. Okay. So right here is 12 inches. You're going to take your tool, put it on each nodule, and sometimes it does take a couple tries to pop. There we go. Now I've got my spine. We're going to put that to the side. But if it's too long or too short, you can always pop it back on and remeasure. It's relatively easy with the tool. I didn't realize there was a tool until I saw someone who does posable art dolls, and they said that there's a tool, a special tool involved, and each size of armature comes with its own tool. This one is 1/4 sized armature. Without this, it is one heck of a bitch to pull apart and put together, unless you buy a specific size. I will show you one of my finished Furbies before we go over to unboxing my sewing machine, my new sewing machine. This is a Working Long Furby. His name is Baby Teeth. Or Teeth for short. And I will show you why. He has teeth. And a tongue. This concept art was bugging me until I made him. But anyways, all of my new versions of Long Furbys have a zipper. Must feed my sleep paralysis demon. Okay, so I unzip. You can see where the spine is in the inner galaxy lining. And here you can unscrew the Furby to get to the battery compartment. I've seen people make their Furby batteryless. I don't know how to do that. This is the cheapest, easiest way, in my opinion. Just make a compartment. These are the wings I was talking about that Joann Fabrics sells, which my current Joann Fabrics is completely sold out of because I bought them all. So I'm going to be using these as a template, but they're not going to be embossed like this because that's just, I can't. I'm not that skilled. But this is what a finished Long Furby would look like. I'm gonna go put him down by his brother. You might hear him in the background. But we are going to now unbox my sewing machine. I'm going to move all of my supplies to the side and we're going to unbox my new sewing machine because my other one died. Literally from fur. A fur death. Because fur's thick and my cheap $100 sewing machine couldn't handle that anymore. News to me, I should have been using a pusher foot or whatever the heck it's called, where it like pushes the fabric along, or a little tool to wedge it so that it doesn't get stuck in some tough spots. But I basically killed it. I mean, it works for fabric like this. So now I have two sewing machines. There she is, my new sewing machine. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. All the little necessary tools, a button guide, bobbins, it just slides in. There's no metal apparatus. Okay, that's gonna take some getting used to. My old sewing machine has this little metal piece that you put the bobbin in. A bobbin is one of these little clear plastic pieces that you put the backstitching thread on. That's what I call it, backstitching. But basically, you have to have two pieces of thread to sew with. It just sits in there. It just sits in there. It just sits in there. I'm amused. Not sure what this is. An extra couple of needles. I'm going to need them. Another seam ripper. Some washies. Another piece of plastic. Bobbin, tool, Allen wrench, another tool, little clamp thingy. I guess it goes on there somehow. Same thing with that, like, not sure what all that does. I thought you were going to sleep, Furby. I'm sorry this video is really boring. This is me opening up my random sewing machine. Alright, and I'll come back. All this would probably be sped up, but I will come back when I have this set up and I'm sewing something. Alrighty, bye! Hello, voiceover Carrie here, and I am measuring my Furby. It is about like 14.5 inches around, so I'm going to make it that wide and only about 3 to 4 inches long for the inner bag part here. I'm also cutting out the circles for the bottom of the bag and the bottom of the Furby. I had already measured out the long Furby. I was just trying to determine here the grain of the fur, and here I am measuring it out, cutting it out. It is about 4 feet long by 14.5 inches wide. And here I was deciding how to go about making wings, because this commission wanted wings, and I failed a couple of times to figure it out, but in the end I eventually made a pattern and created wings for the Furby. They're not the greatest wings. They're my first time trying making wings, but yeah. I also forgot to undo the feet. That I'm using a seam ripper right now to take the feet off so I can attach them to the bottom of the Furby. And in the next clip you'll see me sewing, and yeah. So I did want to show you all how I glue the Furby. It takes a really long time. This is all hyperlapsed, so you don't really get a chance to see how long it actually took. And I will be cutting this down a little bit to spare you. It takes me 3 or 4 times to try and get the spine to stay put on the Furby. As you can see here, me picking it apart and trying again. I will go through so much hot glue. It is unreal. But yeah, it is not easy. It does take patience, and sometimes I lose my patience. But it's okay at the end of the day. Now I am preparing the Furby inner lining. I'm placing it inside the long sock tube and pinning it together with a few pins and sewing it together. And once that's sewn, I will be able to put it onto the Furby face after I feed the Furby face onto the outer part of the Furby, because this will be a working long Furby. Here I am feeding the Furby spine through the long sock tube so that I can then put the Furby face on so I can prepare to sew them all together. And it does take quite a bit of patience, and this particular Furby faceplate has some screws, so I'm screwing those in right now. And then I'm going to pin it all in place and then sew completely around the Furby. And here is the long Furby all completed, and I muted the sound because people were talking in the background, but here I am turning it around so you can see the wings, how they look, and how he looks all together working. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!